Hello, Keller Williams, and welcome to another edition of Latest in Labs. I'm your host, Adi Pavlovich, Director of Innovation. I hope you had a great holiday break. We have a lot to cover as we journey on the road to family reunion in just a few weeks. I think we only have about 2 of these Latest in Labs left after this one, so there's a lot to show you. There's a lot the team's been working on, and so we're going to get to it. Keep in mind, I'll reserve the last 5 to 10 minutes for questions and ahas. So use the Slido box in KW Connect. And remember, tell us who you are, where you're from, what's your question or aha, and I'll make sure to get to it at the end of the segment. So to kick it off, I have a lot to show you, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. First thing I wanna show you in the agenda, we're gonna go through a lot. We're actually gonna start with things that we're going to be ready by family reunion to give you a little teaser. And then we'll go into some of the products that will, some of the elements will make it in family reunion, some will be beyond. And lastly, I want to go over the new feedback button, and we've revamped ideas.kw.com. So first things first, we're going to jump into the Keller Cloud Marketplace. And so before we go into that really quickly, this is something you've heard us talk about on stage, on the live stream, is about how we're going to create the App Store for real estate on the Keller Cloud platform. And so the idea is, what I'm going to show you is actually live today. It's in development, but the idea is to create an App Store for all of the other applications you use that integrate with Command will live here. And so you'll get a first ever sneak peek preview of what that looks like. So let's just jump into today and I'll kind of show you what we got so far. So right here is kind of our first knock on the Keller Cloud Marketplace. Please keep in mind, all of these are just placeholders, all the copy, content. It's really just an idea of show you what we've done so far. Here's where you're gonna be able to click through from Command and see all of the applications that integrate into Keller Cloud. And so, for example, like an eEdge integration, you would click on this application, and just like any other app store here, you can click here to view a screenshot of what this integration will look like in Command. You can read a little bit more about the application, but here you can also see some of the features. And so here's where any product that we have, the key components of that product and how it's going to impact the Command, you can go here and click through all of those options. And so it's a really good way, just like any other app store, to educate you about what that application does. A great example is an auto dialer, for example. If we have 2 auto dialers integrated into Command, this is where you would go to learn about the information about those auto dialers, what comes with the package, what comes with the integration, and really want to empower you to make the decision whether you want to plug in with one or the other, whatever you're most used to. The really cool thing, what I just showed you though, is it's going to be fully integrated. So all you need is we need to link your account, your Keller Williams account, your Keller Williams login with whatever other third-party vendor that's going to be integrated into this marketplace. And then it's going to work seamlessly. So no more having to remember 10 to 15 different passwords. It will all live in this marketplace and it'll be connected to Command. So that's pretty cool. Something else I'm going to show you that we're really excited about is we're also going to empower you as the users to review these apps. Just like you would at any other app store or Play Store, it's a really great way to also ask questions and see what other agents think about this application, how seamless it is, likes, dislikes, and obviously you'll be able to see some information about whether it's free or paid and what pricing looks like. And so that's a really cool way where you can come in here, see all the applications that we have that we're gonna launch. Currently, this is in labs today, so we're still getting feedback on how people interact with it, but something to show you really cool, if we go back to the eEdge example, is not only are you going to be able to add those applications and integrate them into Command, but you're also going to be able to manage the users that get access to that integration. And so right here, you can see is we can actually assign users. And so if you're on a team, and let's say you want this plugin, you can actually go here and assign to all of your team members to get access to that plugin. What that means is when they log into Command, they're actually going to see that integration live, whether it's eEdge, whether it's an auto dialer, whatever it is. You as the rainmaker of the team will be able to configure licenses, access, and basically on the back end of the marketplace, manage all of those user licenses. So we're really excited about this. This is something we've talked about for a while. It's here. We're still, like I mentioned, we're still labbing it with Agent. We're also using this as a platform to talk to partners, to show them how they would interact with the agents on the Keller Cloud, the users, and really what it does is it gives us a lot of leverage to work on really cool integrations that you want to make happen. And so Now that we've talked about it, you've seen it, the goal here is if you have a vendor that you want to plug into the Keller Cloud Marketplace, go to your vendor and say, hey, this is important in my business. I want you to integrate with the Keller Cloud Marketplace, and we have a team in place to really handle those inquiries. And so I'm really excited to show you guys that. Like I mentioned, we're still labbing it, nothing's final, but we are hoping to launch a few partners at Family Reunion on this marketplace, and you'll be able to access it from command. So pretty cool. Next up, I want to show you guys Lead Accelerator. So we've done something really cool is we have evolved that product to include hyper targeting, just like you could on Facebook or some other platforms. And when I say hyper targeting, I mean like super specific hyper targeting. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's still in dev Q&A, so it's not finished yet. It's going to look a little beat up, but it does work live today. So if you can bear with me, I'm going to show you what that looks like here in command. So here is the Lead Accelerator application. We are in the dev environment. What that means is developers are still working on it. It could break. That's the super fun thing about doing this live. But this is what it looks like today. You're familiar with Lead Accelerator, creating campaigns. The idea here is, and you've seen the screen before, if you want to create, for example, we're going to use a Facebook campaign. And so something very relevant to me is if we want to create kind of a recently engaged Facebook campaign, and we want to target people that have just got engaged that might be looking for a house. So for example, we'll do this. We'll do a Facebook ad. We'll say we want to just attract listings, and we're going to configure this campaign. So this is going to take you to the configuration screen for Lead Accelerator. We've shown this before. It should look very similar. This is where you can put a budget into how much daily you want this ad to be shown on Facebook, and you can actually add content and create and preview right here what that ad's going to look like. So nothing new there. You've seen that before. Now scroll down to the bottom with me, and you're going to see here ad targeting. So we have age, but if you turn on expert mode, what you're going to be able to do here is very advanced targeting. So for example, if I want to target friends of newly engaged people on Facebook, I go here and you can see not only can I find friends of newly engaged people, but I can find close friends of people with birthdays in a month, friends of newlyweds. Super, super hyper targeted marketing. You can put, friends who like to buy flowers, anything. You can actually Facebook has a huge dictionary of items you can hyper target. And so we've integrated that into command, which is really cool. And so allow you to really flex those advertising muscles when using Lead Accelerator is that you can go as specific as you want, as granular as you want, as you would on Facebook. And so this is something our Lead Accelerator team's been working on. Super excited to launch this and really give you guys the ability to really harness the power of the Keller Cloud when you go out, create ads, and lead gen. And so we're really excited to showcase that feature. And like I said, this is actually live today. I'm not showing you designs. And so kudos to the team that worked over the holidays to really work on that integration. Cool, so that's hyper-targeting Lead Accelerator. Next up, I want to talk about Social Suite. So we've mentioned about, with Lead Accelerator, the ability to create ads on other social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and a few other avenues we're working on as well. Social Suite is an idea of actually posting content on there, free content, whether they're posts or tweets or photos. We've heard in labs, and this is really born out of the ideas of agents, is, hey, I want to manage my entire social media presence in one place. And so what I'm about to show you is actually in designs. We're working on development here over the next few weeks. But the idea is, if you're familiar with Hootsuite or any of those other types of platforms, is to manage your social presence here. So I showed you how to do an ad, hyper-target an ad. Let's jump in, and I'll show you how to actually manage and link your accounts to Social Suite. And so what you see here is, on the right side, we can actually connect profiles of multiple social media platforms. To start, we'll have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but as you see, we're also working on Pinterest and LinkedIn. And so to link those accounts, you'd essentially just log in, give us the credentials to have access to that account. And so then now what you do here in Social Suite will actually feed your posts and your statuses in Facebook and all those accounts. And so very quickly, as you can see right here, we can see a posts queue. What this is you can actually see what are the posts that are coming down the pipe, and you can plan in advance. And so whether you have an admin or whether you want to manage your social posts, this lets you as a business operate in scale. And you can actually build these schedule these posts in advancement around seasonality, and you can go up into an entire year. You can have your whole social media campaign strategy in January and plan out the posts for the rest of the year and just set it and forget it is the idea. Obviously, you might want to do it on a daily basis or weekly, but we're giving you the ability to really just automate that for you, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. And so if you want to schedule a post, we click this button in the top right. Oh, apologies, we're technical difficulty. Click this button to schedule a post in the top right, and it's going to ask you, do you want to Insta story, Instagram post, Instagram ad? This is where it's really cool. Not only can we pick the channel, but we can get very specific based off other types of posts like Snapchat stories or Instagram stories, etc. And here you can actually upload content from your desktop. Here's what's really cool. We can also leverage the content library in Sketchhouse. So this is all in command. You can click here and use some of the assets you've designed in Sketchhouse to add to your Insta story. And so for this example, we'll take this photo, we'll upload, and now you can see a post preview of the 10 most beautiful interior designs, and you can actually build a story here of what that would look like for agents to interact with. And so what you do here, you can obviously change channel, you can add post to queue, and now you'll see it pops up that you can actually manage, edit, delete, or shuffle around all of your posts. And then here in this calendar widget in the bottom right, you can see all of the posts that are coming, or you can actually integrate your command calendar to see, in terms of workflow and business, how you want to structure your social media posts around what's happening in your calendar today. So that's really cool. This is actually in design. This isn't in dev. What I just showed you, just want to be straight up with you, but this is something we are building in dev with the ability to schedule posts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as I mentioned. So that should take care of all of your social media needs in the short term, and we're working really hard to have that ready and live for you at Family Reunion. Cool. So next up, we have Content Creator. And so before I go into the demo of this, I want to give you guys a little bit of feedback about, or a little bit of background on, you're familiar with Sketchhouse. We've talked about Sketchhouse before. That's where you go and design marketing assets. You can design landing pages, listing presentations, and then you can actually go and publish those landing pages. You get a unique URL for each landing page. You can templatize those, but what's really cool is you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, let me build a unique landing page just for your home very quickly, and then we will obviously host that and give you the ability to share that URL however you want. Now, what's really cool is today those things work opposite. You actually have to design the listing presentation in Sketchhouse and then go into landing pages and configure it. What I'm about to show you is actually the vision for that product is to merge those two into what I'm going to show you today. So this is more ideation, kind of version 2 of what's coming down the pipe, most likely post-Family Reunion. But I want you to start thinking about when you get access to Sketchhouse and landing pages to really see the vision of what's going to be possible in the near future. So if you can go to my screen real quick, I'll show you, this is the dashboard we've designed, where you can manage your design library assets. We'll give you folders, different types, PDF, postcards, email. I'll go over that in a minute. But you can also see your landing pages and the metrics involved with those landing pages. So what's really cool about you as an agent or you as your team is you can house all of your marketing assets in one place. So you have the ability to build folders, upload any sketches you have created in Command, or anything you just have laying around your desktop or wherever it lives today. You can store it here. But what's really cool is you'll get access to the KW library. And so this is something our branding and marketing team will be working to create assets for you, whether it's seasonally, but we're also working with leadership and regions and market centers to give them the ability to create hyper-local content for your entire team to use, whether that's branding or whether that's, there's state-by-state regulations of what you can show when you create marketing collateral. We're going to be able to put those assets in there and manage those for you so you can just drag them and drop them, which is really exciting. And also, going back to the landing pages, will give you the ability, if you decide to turn one of those marketing brochures into an actual dynamic website, you will be able to come here and track, one, the analytics. So think of this as like Google Analytics, how many views, how many clicks, but also all of the leads captured from that. So if you put a contact form, which is one of the widgets we have available, into your landing page, you will get to see who fills it out, when, email, phone number, the timing, and be able to feed that into your contact management database. And so this is really cool where you can get full access into everything you're going from marketing to actually capturing leads and building templates here as well. And so the idea is that if you're on a team or within a market center, you'll be able to configure these templates. And what that allows you to do is you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. You can actually create duplicates and a template, say, this is how we do listing presentations, and then go in and just customize that listing presentation to the seller themselves, right? And so that's where you can create dynamic content that feels very personal and unique, but in matter of fact, it's actually very scalable because we created those templates. And right here, I can show you very quickly. You can preview, if you create this shell, this is what the template's gonna look like. And so let's go in real quick and I'll show you how to create. There's a couple of categories we think of when we think of marketing content. We have web, email, print, and obviously custom. What that means is depending on what the medium is, whether you want to create a landing page or someone is going to be looking at it on a desktop, whether it's an email or whether it's print, we will configure the pixels so the image looks as good as possible depending on what you decide. So for this example, we're going to create a landing page, and we're going to use a template, listing landing page default, go to create. And so what you see here is that we have uploaded a pre-configured template that you have created or a Keller Williams admin has created. And now you can go through this template, customize it to yourself, but very easily you can just click on the shell. And as you can see, it opens up a configuration template on the right side. And there is where you put everything that's personalized to you. So you put the header text, agent branding, name, phone number, email address. You can upload a headshot, a background image. And when I hit apply, what that's going to do is that's going to take the shell and actually make it into a high fidelity design mockup. And so essentially what you can do is work your way through this entire template and make something look very much like this, where you can just do a market snap for a particular zip code or neighborhood that a seller might be interested in. And so you can configure this to them and say, hey, Mr. Seller, let's take a look at the activity in your area. I designed this specifically for you. I can hit publish. And what that does is that actually is going to go out and generate a unique URL. So when it gives you a little preview, when you hit publish, here's the URL. You can copy it, share it with Mr. Seller, and now they have their own landing page about that neighborhood. Here's what's really cool about that, though, is that here I'm going to skip through. What's really cool about that is you'll actually be able to all that information that lives in that landing page will be dynamic. And so what I mean by that is all of these market stats you're going to see here, and I'm just going to kind of skip ahead. All these market stats you see here in this market snap is actually going to be live. And so anytime someone goes to that URL, that will automatically update on the past 30 days. And so what that means is you no longer have to recreate content. You just have to create it once. Once you publish it as a website, we can feed data into that market snap, and so it will live forever, and it will just update with the most relevant market stats. And so what's really cool about that is, like we mentioned, set it, forget it, create that URL, and then as we mentioned, those metrics where you can see actives, views, leads generated, you'll be able to share that with your clients as well, and to show them the value of your marketing from something as simple as just creating one landing page. You'll be able to create multiple and create templates and do some really cool things with that. So this is something you'll get a V1 access of this in command today. We have Sketchhouse Live. We're working on landing pages for family reunion, but I want you to think about the vision is to really scale your marketing asset, not just efficiencies of creating it, but sharing it and exposing it to a bunch of buyers and sellers. So that's really cool, and that's coming down the pipe very soon. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about the feedback button. And so it's something that the lifeline of labs, and something I'm always a huge proponent of, is getting your guys' feedback. You use the Q&A, the question and aha, Slido box, and tell me what you think right now. But constantly, I've done a lab every single day this week, working with agents, showing them some of the designs I shared with you to get their feedback to make them better. So something we're actually doing is we're enhancing the feedback loop mechanism and working very closely with the labs analyst team. And so I want to show you what that looks like. And it ties two things together very closely. And so if you come back to my screen, if you've been in command lately, you've noticed that next to the chat box, the feedback button has gone from the middle center to the right bottom, and it behaves a lot differently. So let's talk about that. It asks you to actually post an idea. And so this is still the same structure. We're still seeing all of the feedback, but instead of being more support focused, this is saying, hey, I really like designs, but I think that you should add the ability to sync, X with Y in landing pages. And so when you go, you can actually create a title for this, and you can say, hey, landing page feature, and you can post this idea. Now, what happens with that idea is it actually feeds into ideas.kw.com. And so this is the new ideas.kw.com. And I really, really want to ask everyone to check out this site. This is if you have any idea, if you want anything, you can go here and see other ideas. So let's pick KW Command, for example. And now what I can do is I can see hot and top trending ideas and actually vote. And what you'll see here is, here's how many votes this idea has gotten. And it's called Smart Plans Access. And so in order to effectively use command, I need to be able to set tasks and reminders, etc. So what you can say is you can actually vote and add a vote to this idea. And you can come in here and read, and you can see the comments. And so this is actually one of the challenges we have with asking 190,000 agents to give us feedback is the ability to make sure that we listen to everyone. And so what this is going to allow us to do is if you're posting an idea that's already been posted before, it will recommend that and say, hey, is this the idea similar to this other idea? And what that does is really helps our team manage and saying, hey, this idea has 1,000 votes. A lot of people are thinking this way. Helps us prioritize of what to build next or what to fix. And so it's a really cool way for you to leverage the labs community and help us get it right. And so you can hit the feedback button within Command or within Kelly, or you can just go to ideas.kw.com and play with it. And so if you come back to my screen, you're also going to see these little tags that say planned, needs review, reviewing. What that is that's our team telling you, hey, great idea. We're actually planning to build that. Or, hey, API access to KW Command. Let us review that idea, understand what exactly is you want us to do, and we'll put that in our pipeline. Reviewing means we're currently looking at it, but there's a lot of other statuses that you can see that would really help you understand of like, okay, cool, that's a great idea. Let us review it. And then we're going to tell you whether it's planned or whether it's something we can't do. And our motto is we don't say no a whole lot. So there's going to be a whole lot of reviewing and planning, but it's a really good way, and it's a really fascinating technology we're leveraging to make sure that your ideas rise to the top, and that make sure that every single agent out of all of you is heard, and we take those ideas very seriously. So please go on there, post an idea or vote for some of the popular ideas. Tell us what to build next. This is how we build technology with you. And so with that being said, I really just want to highlight the new feedback button. We have about 5 minutes. I've been kind of rapid fire. I know there's a lot to show you, but what I'd love to do next is kind of do a little bit of Q&A and get some feedback from you guys. And so I'm going to move over to this screen and take some questions for the next 5 minutes. So Joe McHugh asks, will Social Suite posts allow you to, as an example, boost in Facebook, boost the people who already like your page? Yeah, Joe, so that's something we're working at. And if I showed you earlier, like landing pages, something we're building in there is actually pixel tracking. And so you can see if someone actually didn't fill out a lead form, we can actually go and track that IP address, and you make sure that any Facebook ads you create, you can boost. Now in V1 Social Suite, you won't actually be able to boost those. That's an integration we're working on. But in Lead Accelerator, we're building for that functionality. So yes, very soon, it's on the pipeline. I know what you're thinking. Chuck Morris, is there a list of vendors now involved in Marketplace? We will be publishing that list very soon. We have some announcements to make at Family Reunion. So as we're still working through those partnerships, stay tuned. We have some announcements to make out of that. And some of the more default ones will be some of the ones we've already announced, such as like Facebook that I showed you today. Also eEdge, built by Market Leader. We'll have that integration. We have a lot of cool ones coming down the pipe as well. Anonymous, will there be a way to connect multiple Facebook accounts? Yes, right now V1, you'll only be able to sync one, but I understand if you have multiple accounts, if you're a team or you have a multi-platform strategy, yes, you'll be able to link multiple. Leslie asks, will team members and admin have their own login to Command? And yes, actually any individual, every agent or admin will get their own login. And then we're also working in settings where you can have team management. And so you can give people certain roles. And then when you go to, for example, the Keller Cloud Marketplace, those people will be there and you can light up licenses per whoever's on your team. Next question, will social suites provide analytics? If so, what kind? Yeah, so we're limited to whatever platform you post that on, right? And so I know Facebook gives you kind of views and likes, and so we'll be able on the back end to integrate those and give you very simple analytics. Advanced analytics is something we'll definitely investigate, but great question. I'm definitely going to look into that. Next question, in Social Suite, can I schedule a post for more than one channel? Yes, you can actually post across multiple channels. And what's really cool about that feed is if you do that, you can kind of duplicate and say, hey, I want this one to go all 3 channels, or you can have a very specific targeted strategy for each kind of medium. Next question, also anonymous. Come on guys, share your name. Does Social Suite allow for posting time as well as posting date? Yes, you'll be able to post as early or as late you want it and on the minute. We're building towards that. Last question from Arthur, what is hyper lead targeting? Well, what I kind of showed you, hyper lead targeting is where Facebook and these platforms can get very, very specific based off the activity you do on those platforms. And so if you really like shoes and you shop for shoes and you clicked on shoe ads, Facebook is going to tag you as Arthur who likes shoes. And so if I'm hyper targeting and I say, I want to specifically target people in this age demographic who like shoes, that's pretty specific, right? And so that's what hyper targeting means. It's really very specific targeting of ads. And so it's super powerful and it's super granular as well. So as you saw, we can get very specific. Well, cool. Well, so that's our time for Q&A. Little bit of homework before you leave. Make sure, keep using Kelly. Send us your feedback, not just in Kelly, but also in command, in ideas.kw.com. Tell Kelly, take the course evaluation. It's 2019. It's a whole different year. We take your feedback very seriously, so let us know how we're doing. Make sure to sign up for labs. Now is more important than ever. We're doing labs at scale. So if you want to be involved, now's the time to do it. And make sure to check out the KW Connect live schedule page for new offerings. So if you go to KW Connect technology videos, on the left side, you'll be able to click KW Connect live schedule, and you can see all of the live streams we have. It's a ton. We have a ton of great content coming to you guys. We're doing a ton of work. So you'll see me on here again, showing you, teasing you things coming down the pipe, answering your questions. So really excited for what's in store for 2019. Really excited for Family Reunion. If you haven't bought your ticket yet, I highly encourage you to attend. I know we say this every year, but this, in fact, will be the biggest family reunion ever. I know you've noticed there's been a lot of action. We have a lot of announcements. We have a lot of tech to build. So please make sure, join us in New Orleans, Family Reunion 2019. That is my time for today. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good weekend. Happy 2019, and we will see you soon. Thank you very much.